Differentiation from first principles is easy as hell. I don't want to see any of you guys making a mistake on it, alright? Because the thing is, if we're told fx is 4x, we know what the answer is going to be. We know the derivative of 4x is 4. So if we don't get 4 in the end, we know we fucked up. So it's always nice to know what we're aiming for. So this is the formula for differentiation from first principles. You don't really need to worry too much about this lim h to 0 bit. We'll focus on that a little bit later. The main issue that people have is this f of x plus h. But in reality, it's just basic substitution. So in this case here, f of x is 4x. We want to find the derivative of 4x, so f dash x. To find f of x plus h, what's happening is we're literally replacing x with x plus h. So on this side, we're going to replace the x with x plus h. So that becomes 4, and then as soon as we get to write the x, we instead write x plus h. And that's it. That is that part. So if we actually carry on from there, so that's not equal to that anymore, it would be f of x plus h minus fx, so minus, the fuck is that? Minus 4x over h, because that is the formula. Then we're going to expand this bracket. So that creates 4x plus 4h minus 4x over h. The 4x's cancel out, because it's 4x and minus 4x. The h's cancel out, and we're left with 4. That's it. Now that's quite an easy example. Let's go through a more difficult one. Okay, so once we've got some powers involved, there's a little bit more to it, but the same rules apply. So if we're dealing first of all with the f of x plus h, what we're going to write is we're going to write f of x, but as soon as we get to the x value, we're going to replace it with x plus h. It's always good to substitute in brackets as well. So I keep making that fucking sign. So it's 5 brackets, so instead of writing the x, we're going to write x plus h squared, because it's x squared, so it's going to be x plus h squared, minus f of x, so that's minus that, over h. Now we're going to expand this bracket. I'm going to skip a couple of steps and jump ahead, but whenever we have a bracket squared, you're going to want to write it out next to itself and then do the full expansion. But let me just say it's going to be 5x squared plus 10xh plus 5h squared, and then minus 5x squared over h. Now, the 5x squareds cancel out, and we can divide through by h, because every individual contains an h. So we can get rid of that, that, and one of those. So we're now left with 10x plus 5h. And now this is where this bit comes into play. That means the limit as h tends to 0. Basically, you don't need to really understand the background about why that exists. Just the fact that it does exist means h is going to equal 0. So if h equals 0, then we're just left with 10x. So probably in the question you're going to want to write as h tends to 0 and then sub in 0 there, 10x plus 5 bracket 0 equals 10x. But you know you got it right because we all know that the derivative of 5x squared is 10x. So it's all good.